Good evening, everyone. This is Samuel Lombardo, the CEO of SL Models and Talent Agency, LLC, the CEO of Suave Dance Studios, LLC, CEO of Lions Publishing and Productions, LLC, and as well as Lombard's Christian Arts Conservatory with our new established business, V-Smart, which is a vocational school for models, artists, and talent. And boy, are we having some exciting news. SL Models and Talent Agency, LLC is all about unleashing the artist within. Unleashing the artist within. And this video, I just wanted to introduce why did I come up with that slogan. What does unleashing the artist mean? Now, a lot of folks will just take this very simply and say, I must have something within me that I want to let loose. And that could be true. But when I'm saying unleash the artist within, what I'm saying is dig deep down within yourself and actually know what you are capable of doing, knowing who you are. That also can mean digging out your weaknesses and your strengths. You know, in business, we talk about a SWOT analysis, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? That's the four things in SWOT analysis. Well, when you're analyzing yourself, you want to know, now your biggest threat is yourself. If you're so laid back, if you're one of these folks that is like, well, I mean, I do some dancing, and I mean, I really, you know, I had so much experience in, you know, the theater, and I work behind the stages, and, you know, I've done all that stuff, and yeah, that's me. That's me. Thank you. If that's you, right away I look at you and I say that you are your own threat. Now, what threatens you? What makes you want to think that way? What makes you want to be down like this or wondering if it's going to happen or whatever situation it may be? It's going to be what is happening. Now, this is the psychology of business, the psychology of oneself. Like, are you allowing the opportunities to take over the threats, or are you allowing the threats to win? In other words, are you allowing your fears to take over what you potentially have opportunity for? In this case, and this is why I say love kills. In this case, what you love to do, that might distinguish where you're the wannabe versus the doing, being, collaborating, building, elaborating. I mean, I can rhyme all day with all the particular words that I can use. That is what SL Models and Talent Agency is looking for, folks. We are looking for you to not do this that I just did. Have a smile. Look apart. Be you. Be smart. Be a brand. Be opportunist. Be valuable. Be coachable. Be marvelous. I mean, you are it. In the conversation of the particle word it. You, third party, as a third party looking in, is it. And the clients look for it, which is the talent. You are the talent that you are bringing. So be you. Okay. Now, that's the 2 letters in the alphabet that you need to remember. The letter B and the letter U. How do you like that for an analogy? Okay, so in any case, the next thing that is important is knowing your weaknesses from your strengths. So if you know one of your weaknesses would be that you have a hard time speaking in front of crowds, then a good way to do it is to do like what I'm doing right now, raw. I don't know how many people are actually viewing me. From what I can see, it says in my analyst sheet here of YouTube that 7.4 thousand people are seeing it. So if that is actually really the case, that many people are viewing this, I don't see the 7.4 thousand people in front of me, but I know that I have something to share and people are listening. And yes, this is relatable, sure. But the big thing about knowing how to get out of your weakness speaking in front of a big crowd, just start something small where you're literally speaking in a YouTube channel or speaking in front of your best friend or something. Have something there tangible that you can work with. It's just as simple as having a camera that works right on your laptop. You don't need like this professional thing here. I mean, I use this for Zoom and other productions that I'm getting ready to do that are going to be so much bigger for YouTube here very shortly. But what I really, really, really want you guys to understand is to take your weaknesses and your strengths, put them side by side so that you know what you need to work on. It's one thing to coach a variety of different things set up, and this is what I like about the V-Smart. The V-Smart school is not dictating that you're going to learn like this, like this, like this, like this. No, we actually will do an analysis interview with you that will determine your SWOT analysis. That's correct, your SWOT analysis in this business. What is your strengths and weaknesses? What can we do as a possibility, as an opportunity for you versus your threats? And your threats in the entertainment department, your biggest threat's going to be that everybody is going to be better than another person, or that you may be better than the other person, or whatever the case may be. But failure wins. Remember that. Failure wins. It's when you cry and let yourself go, and you hit your toe and you stumble and fall, that you now have to pick yourself up. Now, I'm a facilitator. That is my business mindset. So in other words, if you stumbled and fell, at some point I could help pick you up if you're going to be coachable. But if you're saying no, I'm gonna have to watch you get yourself up, because I don't have the time to sit there and rock you back to normality. There are many other people that need bookings, and there are clients asking questions and people doing all kind of, and not only that, but now there's so many other things that SL Models and Talent Agency is doing, and it's just getting bigger and better even before my very own eyes. So fun time is over now, like the travel and me actually getting involved with the people and whatnot. People are starting to realize SL Models and Talent Agency LLC now. So they're at this point, it's really about doing the work. So it's time for me to go to work. All right. And that's where I have the time. All right. So you as a talent, if you were to take the coaching with SLMTA through our V-Smart schooling, we have a system that works for everybody. Whether you are an elite and you just need to branch yourself, expand yourself, you may be a new face and you're just beginning. Okay, well, there's a system for you. And basically, that would be like your performance readiness. In other words, we would put you in a program that will focus on one particular thing that you are interested in studying at one time. Now, V-Smart is a school that I'm starting online, but it does put you out to work. So it's not just going to be something where I'm going to charge you tuition for the year or the semester and then let you hang. No, because SL Models and Talent Agency and our collaborations are all going to be part of, well, SLMTA is actually going to be the booking agency for the school, but it's also going to be heading a upcoming guild that will be collaborated between two other companies, which I'll explain that when time comes, but that's just a hint that I'm giving out there. And with that, as of right now, Cameo Models and SLMTA are working together in the branding perspective of booking, where she does coaching for models and fashion. But I'm going to be taking it a step further, but SLMTA is also going to be running and heading the Career Center for the V-Smart school. So in other words, the V-Smart is going to be the schooling, and the reason that we say that you want to take one program at one time is because it's an extremely vigorous program. Let me give you an example of what we have going on for, say, musicians. First of all, depending on what you want to do, let's just say you're into opera, okay? Because we do have an opera department. And what you're going to have to do in your audition to get accepted is we would need to see if you have experience, we need to see a resume on that. And we need to see productions that you have physically done. With that, your audition is going to require you to have 3 memorized songs that you would be singing with your background sent to us in English, French, German, and Italian. Okay, now again, I'm only giving you an example of what we would be looking for if you were going to do performance readiness as a new face in the V-Smart, okay? The vocational school model, artists and talent. In any case, after that is done, Then there's some music theory that we need to know about. So in other words, you're going to test until you get to the point where we're like, okay, you know musicianship 1 and you know musicianship 2, but you may still need musicianship 3. But we're going to need to know if you know the basics. Now, for those that don't have experience, if you don't pass the basics, then you're going to have to add the actual theory, what I call Theory 095. Theory 095 is musicianship classes that are based off of theory, and it's the basic theory, like letting you know like how many sharps there are in a a C scale, what the minor scales are, and how many beats to the measure and how to read music and things like that. You'll also learn a little solfege as well going in there, and there will be labs with that where you're going to be literally banging on a piano. So hopefully you got some kind of an instrument to be able to help you if you're going to be signing up for this, because this is real. This isn't fake. I'm not sitting here telling you to sign up for something that you literally cannot actually utilize. You're going to need certain things, like you're going to need a laptop, you're going to need to have a piano or something that you can play that you can understand chords. And ideally, we say a piano or a keyboard. Ideally, I don't think many people would have an organ, but if you did, okay, God bless you. But that's what you would basically need in a theory class. And then you need your mouth. You need to be able to sing. So, and we're very, very strict when it comes to the opera department, because in that case, you would actually need to pass basic theory. If not, then you have to do Theory 095. All right, at that point, if you pass the 095 level, then you could test out of the other musicianship classes. Otherwise, you'd have to, if you try to pass out of them, each one of the passing, so $350 to get the exam. And you actually have to do 3 of them. They're basically the final exams for the theory class, which is your face-to-face exam. It's going to be your singing exam and scales. It's going to be your lab exams, and then it's going to be your paper exams, which is comprehensive, about 150 questions. That's an example of a program that I'm talking about that we have set in stone that is there. Tuition for a performance readiness program, regardless, is going to cost about $6,000 per term. And it can go up from there. Like for those that are studying voice performance in the opera level, it's going to probably cost you about $8,500 per term, because the reason for this is not only are you going to need to take 3 classes, but you're going to be getting vocal lessons, and you're going to have to get the training on a secondary instrument, which would be the piano, so that you can do the thing. And it's also going to have the charges for your labs in there and practicums throughout the actual program. Yes, every single student will have to do a practicum at least 1 time per term. And it does give you a grade in that. So all this, and in order to get an actual A in this school, you have to have at least a 93% or above in order to even attempt an A grade. And we do go by A, B, C. And then it goes to F. Because if you're at the C level, then you may have to repeat the actual term, or repeat certain classes within the term. But that's how the school is set up, using this as an example. Now, you're probably going to ask, why is it so expensive? Well, first of all, it is our instructors. We have instructors from real big schools that will actually train you. We're talking about from every level of schooling. Within the theater department, it's within the different dance departments, etc., within actual universities or retired adjunct related professors. So they're all getting paid, and they're not getting paid cheaply because they are extremely, extremely wealthy in the experience that they can give you. Okay, so we're actually running as an actual school, just without the degree in the back end of it. You can get a certificate, but really what you're really looking for is that when you get out, the Career Center then folds you up into SLMTA, and then that's where SLMTA takes over and starts the booking process. Okay, because and there's still going to be those same regulations like the alumni nationals and things like that. So there are so many things. We want to start different groups as well. Our application fee, once it is set up, it does include the audition fee, and that's just because of the amount of work that it has, and our recruiters that are taking care of it. They're actually getting paid based off of the applications that they bring in, that they're recruiting, and then finishing the process of their auditions and interviews. This amount is $180, and it does include $80 worth of audition fees. Some other programs are a little bit higher, and it depends if you want to go into like an honors program. We do have that available as well. And they have stricter and much more vigorous programming in it. But if that's you, then that is available. So I'm excited about it because I want to let you guys know right from the top that vSmart is happening starting the fall of 2021. September. As a matter of fact, it's going to be the last week of August when it starts. And we are actually hiring instructors. So if you are a theater instructor, if you are a musician instructor, if you're a voice instructor, if we are hiring those, and we're setting everything up to get it ready for the fall of 2021. Right now, it would most likely end up being adjunct instructors, meaning part-time instructors, and we would just negotiate some terms of, how much you would actually get paid. Typically, with the classes, we normally pay about $1,800 to start off for the term, somewheres in that realm, and that's because we have to also split those costs off with other instructors and voice instructors and the like as well. Now, if you are an instructor who is basically interested in wanting to giving private lessons, depending on your level of experience, we also can hire you guys as well. You guys would be considered the secondary instructors set up for private coaching, okay, when it comes to those levels. So then we can negotiate an actual price within that. But with the classes, they're usually about $1,800 to $2,000 per term. And you are allowed to use your own syllabus. that you want to use for the class. We do have some guidelines as to what you should have available in the syllabus, but we're not going to write the syllabus for you. We want to let you have that opportunity to do so. We want you to be creative, put it that way. That's what this whole thing is about. So that's where we are at right now with recruiters. We are actually, we are hiring recruiters for this, and your two major jobs is to recruit students, let them know that the school will happen. And then your other job is to make sure that they are successfully going through the process necessary before they then end up going to the actual advisors that would be working with the student and setting up the classes in the right order. We may, depending on the level of experience with recruitment, we may be able to allow that to happen where you can play two hats. And we've already discussed it, and the pay right now looks to be, instead of doing percentages, the real pay actually looks to be about $50 per application. Okay. That will be paid to you, and then if you are also an advisor to the institution, then we're going to be looking at your salary and where the starting salary would be, because that's most likely where we're going to be needing to actually pay like an hourly wage or something in there for however many hours that you have been advising students. Now, in the beginning, it may seem very cheap that I'm doing this, but what it will actually look like is this. It will probably look like, say I'm the student and you're the advisor. You could be advising me for, say, 2 hours or whatever, but you may have 10 other students, and if I'm paying you $20 an hour, then just from me alone, if you're advising me, say, in the beginning of the month for 4 hours within that month, then that would be $80 paid to you just from me. And then whatever, how many hours, you know, that may be what it is until we actually get it set up to where there's an actual bridge. But we're trying to tweak that right now. And we're saying recruiters because that's where we know that we would be able to actually, we can get the student, so then the recruitment can successfully get them assigned to their programming, and then, you know, and then we'll work out the other details. I expect more applications coming in than I will actually expect the expectation of accepting student. It's only because we're kind of running the gambit right now of like how this is really going to look when that time comes. But I'm also being very careful and cautious. So our trial period is coming up where we're going to be working on the recruitment side, because we want to get the applications in, and then we're going to use that money. This is where the transparency is at. We're going to use that money so that then we can actually start building our advisement team that will be able to help the students with that. But we probably need only a handful related to the actual advisement team, because most of what they're going to be doing when the students are already set up in their classes is making sure that grades are entered in correctly, that the systems are done up right, you know, the technical scenarios. A lot of this will be done through Blackboard. So we will be having online schooling through Blackboard, and we have other resources such as to the dance studio. We have CLI that does that has dance instructors who teach online, but we're going to expand now with our own dance instructors as well, where you're going to have actual face-to-face classes too, well, via Zoom and Blackboard. So that's where a lot of the money is going to be going to as well, starting out, because Blackboard can get a little bit expensive, but for right now, we're going to be holding a license for up to $2,500 for 500 students. So in order to get this really successful, we will be looking for 500 students within different areas of expertise as well as different areas of interest. Okay, so going back to the very beginning, the reason that I say per term, focusing on one item, is because each of the programs that are at the school is going to be very rigorous, which means that there's not really going to be much time. You're going to be between studying and being booked. Studying, being booked. And if you're a musician, you're going to be really in action, because each of the terms, you have your labs, you have your practicum, you have your, now toward the middle of the program, you're going to actually end up having your internships. And your internships with this kind of a thing are basically SLMTA booking you, where you can actually get the real experience without the background of classes and theory behind it. Okay? You're actually going to be out there and doing it. So that's why I was saying that the way that vSmart is set up that it is a school. It is a comprehensive school, but it also will send you out to work. Now, am I guaranteeing you being sent out to work? For practicum and things like that, if we're saying that you're going to have to pass your practicums, then obviously, then we have a system in place for you to do that. Most likely, your internships are going to end up being laid back where your practicums were, because they entrust what you're already doing, but your practicum is mostly going to be like, for example, if you're a theater student at vSmart, you may get both the knowledge of what's happening in behind the scenes and then in front of the camera. And that's okay. And you not getting paid, it would also be okay, because this is part of your resume building. The Career Center actually shows that. Now, if you do get paid, because some of these practicums could actually pay you, then that's very good. But understand that you are a student, that you are going to school, so you're going to be learning a lot of pro bono information before you actually get into the real work that is going to pay you. Now, I'm just going to let you know this right now, that the school will only work with those who are coachable at whatever level you are. The school will only work if you're actually coachable. That also would include that, because we don't have time for people to say, yeah, I've done this and I've done that, and unless you can bring it to the table that you actually did something and I can call and verify a reference that you actually have done that. Like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I had people tell me that they were at model schools that no longer exist. I was told that people did some kind of a fashion show that no longer exists. I've been told that, you know, I look so good in my selfies, and people say I should be a model, and because they are with that idea, they're like, well, I don't think I need to worry about it. All you need to do is book me and I'll be there tomorrow. No. that's not what we are looking for. What we are looking for are real people. Well, what we are looking for, meaning the smart, the vocational school is looking for individuals who actually want to study under a less tuition rate. And I know this is probably going to be a competition with universities or colleges, but the truth of the matter is that we want to be able to make it more affordable for you to get the actual education and coaching that you need to build up who you are, your brand. And this is definitely nothing to do with SL Models and Talent Agency LLC. Outside of SL Models and Talent Agency LLC is basically going to be a partner with the vocational school, an actual partner. And the partnership will be collaborated between two things. One is being the booking and touring agency for pro models, elite models, experienced individuals, as well as new faces. But if there are new faces that cannot be booked, we would strongly suggest you to take on and go to vocational school. And that's what we would basically be telling you. And then, of course, the other collaboration and partnership with the vocational school would actually be their career center, which is everything from setting up the resumes, doing your fan pages and all that. And the fan pages and everything should be step number one. And as a matter of fact, no matter what program you are in, we actually give you your very first assignment in Talent 101, and that is start choosing your format for your resume and what your resume is going to look like. And depending on if you're going in as an experienced artist or not, you will most likely already have a resume. Now, mind you, when I say this, some of these classes, such as copyright, entertainment law, arts administration, you will most likely be dealing with me personally. And I am very, very picky about what resumes should look like. And I'm going to do another video tomorrow night showing you exactly what a professional, two things. What a professional portfolio should look like, as well as what a professional artistic resume should look like. And there are differences depending on what realm of artistry you're going into. Like if you're a model, your portfolio is going to be looking different than the portfolio of an individual who's an actor. And no, I'm not talking about the headshot. Yes, you can have the headshot and a piece of the resume is on the back of it, true. But there are certain things that you need to, they also have portfolios of their work in action, which could be videos. It could also be their photos of them being in an act or whatnot. But they are still portfolio shots within action. Okay, whereas a model, you can actually just go and join a portfolio shoot and actually get the portfolio done if you so desired. Okay, but in order for you to actually get an acting reel or an actor's portfolio, you have to actually have been out there doing the work and actually showing us the portfolio. Your headshot is like the leading step to actually giving a client or whatnot some minor information with a photo, like if I was to meet with them face to face. But you would want these reels and these acting portfolios to be set up, okay, appropriately. And there is also an appropriate way of how a fan page should be looking like too. It's not about, well, you want to put everything in a precise order. Like, let's say, for example, my portfolio is Disney, Vogue, and IMG, okay, in that order. Well, when I'm looking, okay, at your fan page, it should be the opposite. It should be IMG up there with Vogue and then Disney. And then everything that was happening within it should all be portfolioized. Oh, yes, I made that term up. There is no such term as that. But you should have a portfolio of each of those three things in the right order, going backwards for what you did first all the way back to the last thing you did, showing you in action what you have done. Now, is it good to also show some of your portfolio things? Like if you went out there and did a portfolio shoot, yes, that is acceptable. It definitely is. It is a starting portion to getting booked. But I'm letting you know what it is, the reality of what it is, that people are going to be like, oh, yeah, this person is the bomb, man. I saw him in that show the other day. And look, he's even, look at this TJ at tjinstagram.com. Look at him in action. I don't even have to question nothing. I would just be like, would you like to collab? I would not have to question it one bit. So that is the importance here of what the vocational school is all about, what the career center of the vocational school is all about, and then, of course, the booking agency. So yes, the booking agency does not have any fees whatsoever outside of our open call photo shoot. If you want to get some photos done professionally, it's $50, and that is a if, okay. And then now it becomes mandatory if you have nothing, and you're like, well, I can get my photos done here, right? At that point, then we're doing a professional photo shoot. It would then be $100. It wouldn't be no more than $100. But if you want professional shoots at the red carpet open call, it's $50. It's $100 if you're gonna actually have us do the work in getting the photos that we actually need. But if that's the case, then you need to come in with straight black and white, but and try not to do any heels or flip-flops. Okay, so be casual, but be black and white. And the reason for that is because that is like the casual Mandem look for representing yourself, you know, in front of an agency or a casting director, you know, as a first ordeal. Sometimes I end up saying come in casually, but we're talking about a red carpet open call, and you know, you want to at least, you want to be professional if that is going to be your first impression to me, okay? And that goes for new faces as well, because I'm limited with the time that I have at this point. We just landed many pro artists and model. So, they're just literally sitting on our lap right now, and it's time for us to get to work. And therefore, at this point, my time is very limited on trying to explain what it is that we basically need to do when this video is straight out giving you all the answers. Of course, I did branch out and explain the vocational school because I wanted to let you know and bring the transparency in there that it is happening and that it's not going to be cheap, and no, it ain't going to be a handout, and no, it doesn't have anything to do with you being booked or signed with the agency. But I'm just letting you know, if you're signed with the agency and you have not gotten any work, then I'm going to strongly suggest this, that you take on the education. We're going to send you to an advisor, because that is the only other thing that I can really see that is actually happening. Because actual pro artists and pro model, they pretty much, they already have the experience. They are ready to go to work, and they're out there and they're doing it. So those who want to be the pro model and are expanding themselves or want to expand themselves, I'm letting you know that we're busy for you as well, the new faces. But we are going to strongly suggest, or at the very least, we would be strongly suggesting workshops or something within the vocational school, because we need to be able to see where you're faulting when it comes to this. You may get audition, and then they choose, well, this, or this. And we will know what it is because we survey the clients every time when they get done. Which means that if they are telling me the specific reasons why they did not choose you, we're going to know by writing from those clients. So I'm not going to sit here and make it up. And by the way, to go ahead and give you a plus up on that, we will actually give you a copy of the report of the survey. We're not going to hide it, because we need you to understand what is really happening. We're going to be extremely transparent about why it is that you hadn't got accepted for that audition. Now, if it's just simply something like the position was filled, we're looking for one person, and, you know, if it's something similar to that note, then obviously there's very little that we could take from that. So I wouldn't suggest that you become, you know, go into vocational school because you don't know how to become the one that they're looking for. No, that's not technically anything. This is for, like, if they really see something in question, and then I know that vocational school will help it, then you'd have to be coachable in actually guiding yourself. Does that mean that we stop booking you in the process? No. What it just means is that you will have the added burden of going to school so that you can build yourself better while you're going or while you're being booked. Then you can let them know that as well, that I'm going to be in a prestigious school, such and such, blah, 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 because that's what this is. I'm actually trying to build a prestigious brand for vocational schooling relating to the performing and fine arts, adding arts administration to it. So if you want to start your own agency and you want to know how to start one and what all the work is involved with, if you want to know about entertainment law, all you know about is the performing part of it, but you don't know the legalities of it. Well, we got that as well. You know, all these different things we actually have available through the vocational school, though. It's not with the SL Models and Talent Agency. So with that being said, I am excited for the collaboration, working with Cameo Models International down in Richmond, or up in Richmond, Virginia, excuse me. I'm down here. I'm at the home office right now in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I also have an office in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we are looking, I'm going to bring this up one more time, we are looking for up to 5 agents per state, okay, to actually work with SL Models and Talent Agency LLC. Now, the 5 agents within the state, you're going to collaborate in a way that you will actually be able to set up an SL Models and Talent Agency office there for yourselves. Okay, you're going to collaborate to yourselves about it. And of course, we have the guidelines of what the agency fees and things are. But instead of requesting people if they want to do a franchise, I figure this will be the best way of doing it. And then what we're going to do is we'll take the 30% from the agency fees within the agency who have actually recouped the money within the agency. But the agents keep their 10% like usual. All right. The reason that we want to do it that way is because if there are individuals who are local talent but want to do local, you may have experience with your local clients, that's fine. And it also helps in the big realm of things when it comes to trusting, me as a CEO and the company as a whole, that if you want to keep your clients confidential, you can. But we have a process, we have a system where you would be able to work with SL Models and Talent Agency LLC without any disagreement on how the agency would run. And you still keep 70% of your proceeds within the agency, while the hub office here would collect the royalties of 30% from all the other agencies. So if that is you out there that know how to book and you have clients, or you have experience with building up a clientele and you want to work with pro models and talent, then my guess would be very surely that we are looking for you. And for now, that will be the end of tonight's hour block on relatable psychology of unleashing the artist within, but also understanding how to be coachable and where the vocational school is right now in relevance to the model and talent agency that we have as well. So till tomorrow. Tomorrow's all about resumes and bios, as well as portfolios and Instagrams. Till then, have a great rest of your night.